This is Chris Hansen.
Chad doing Rip City Radio here.
It's your favorite basketball player, Tyler Hansbrough.
This is Jamie Hudson.
This is TJ Houshmandzadeh.
And I'm going to let y'all know something.
Duke sucks and Duke will always suck.
You're listening to
It Just Makes Sense.
It just makes sense.
We are sports. We are nostalgia. We are pop culture. And we're funny sometimes.
I think overall we're just a good time.
They thought we couldn't do it. But guess what?
We're back.
Podcasts are free, and we can do whatever the hell we want.
Yeah.
We never knew what we were doing in the first place.
Yeah, that is a good point.
The hole you're digging is so deep. You are just proving that every aspect of your life you're a flip-flopper.
That I just do it for the bit.
You live for the bit.
You should be proud that you make me like people that I hate because you're against them. That's why they don't get any money. But hopefully that changes because it is kind of tough to swallow that you're the biggest WNBA star and an NBA referee makes more money than you. Scott Foster's a fucking millionaire. You don't even come close.
Yeah.
Who are
Speaking
we
of
to
losing,
call people out on losing bets, okay? We suck at betting.
And remember, don't be afraid to fade yourself.
I'm 6 feet from the edge and I'm thinking maybe.
Ain't so far down.
No, I don't know how it goes, but it's definitely not that. You lost your mic?
How much you want to bet?
Not at all. I think that's right. I also don't know words to lyrics.
You don't know words to lyrics?
I don't know words to lyrics. Like I said, today's going to be great. Fresh off the plane from Chicago, boys, the windy city. It was definitely quite windy.
I want to go to Chicago so bad.
Never been?
No.
We went to a White Sox game, which is the not preferred baseball team to go see a game at. Yeah.
I feel like Chicago would be a really fun city to go like early fall, especially while the Bears are not that good. You can get cheap tickets.
Yeah. I think that like either early spring or like right around the first couple weeks of the football season for sure.
Yeah, like second week of NFL season.
But people love summers there too. So yeah, just like it's probably very much like the Pacific Northwest.
When you're
you
saying,
don't want to fuck with winter.
When you're saying windy, was it a turbulent flight?
You know what? Like a lot of flights were delayed today. Like it was hecka windy today.
Like did you feel it landing?
Is it just because all the wind coming off of Lake whatever?
Michigan? Yeah, no, for sure. I would imagine that it contributes to the majority of the wind. So
I want to go to Chicago real bad though.
Yeah, let's do it.
I hear
That's what scares me.
The summers there I hear are amazing.
Yeah. So the baseball game wasn't that bad actually. It was a beautiful night. It wasn't that warm.
It looked nice.
But it was not last
Hoodie
night.
weather.
The weather was also like the next night was like muggy and freaking thunderstorms and such. But yeah, that night, just like chilly spring day, a couple of 2-10 teams, so that like no one was there, so the atmosphere sucked. But I did send you guys a photo. Like I just walked everywhere. I was like just a few rows behind home plate, and I sent you guys a photo of me just crushing a Summer Shandy. It's incredible. I just walked up there and I sat.
You don't get to put crushing and Summer Shandy in the same sentence. It's embarrassing.
I didn't even recognize the seats. I was so focused on the Shandy.
I just ruined the moment.
My blood was boiling.
Can you imagine a guy showing up? I was just crushing Summer Shandy. That doesn't sound good together.
They also had a peach shandy. I did not get that one. But it was.
Surprise.
I'm not saying that I wanted that shandy that night, but I did it for the bit. I did it for the.
You were trying to prove a point.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
you're admitting that
point?
you're starting to find that shandies aren't that great.
In that, like, I would say that a shandy is better when it is a little bit warmer outside. It was definitely not summer.
So now you're classifying when shandies are good.
Well, right, because a harvest shandy is
Dude,
great in the harvest season.
The hole you're digging is so deep.
It's not true.
You are just proving that every aspect of your life you're a flip-flopper. Not just as a sports fan, that now you drinks.
That I just do it for the bit. Yeah.
You live for the bits.
Live for the bits.
Live your truth, dude. Don't do it for the bit. All you're doing is you're being an influencer without getting paid influencer money. It's embarrassing.
And I'm hitching my wagon to Summer Shandies. It's a very terrible influence.
It's all of the above is bad.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure that I'm necessarily going to win the overall battle. A lot of people have their niche. I don't think that I might be the only one with the Summer Shandy niche.
Hey,
That's a bad niche.
Hit us
dude.
up. Hey, listen, you would change your tone so hard if their name was plastered right behind us on this backdrop right now.
No, I'm not a sellout.
I am.
I'm not.
I wouldn't drink it though.
It would just be here. It would be
Yeah.
sitting here,
Yeah,
kind of like the
I'd-
Gatorade on a post-game.
There's a
press
difference in what level you could be a sellout. If you're saying that Summer Shandy is paying me enough for me to not work, then yeah. If you're talking about getting free shit as a sponsor, fuck no. I'm not gonna change my tone for getting free merchandise, whatever.
What if they had like awesome merch?
If they're paying me $500,000 a year, love Summer Shandy.
Summer Shandy, hit us up. Lining
What if they
Kugels.
gave you a T-shirt with a lemon on it?
a lemon, bro? Yeah.
Actually, I
Show
don't know.
me your lemon.
Yeah, you're changing your tune.
Yeah.
Let me sleep on
You
it.
look great in yellow. You know you
Let me
do.
sleep on it.
You could wear the shirt. It would be ironic. It would be incredible.
I love ironic stuff.
So the game was great. I did not the line. So there was no one there. They announced 20,000 people. There were not 20,000 people there. It was the Royals versus the White Sox. A couple of dog shit teams. Go Guardians, by the way.
Explain that in NFL terms for me to understand. Who did you watch play? NFL terms.
In the NFL, I watched the
Jets
probably
play the Panthers.
Yeah, it was that bad. Yeah, for sure. No one was there. Definitely Panthers vibes, like towards the end of the
Yeah.
season when no one showed up.
Okay.
But they
Yeah,
didn't
it was
even
Jets
have.
Panthers in like week 14.
They didn't even have like the 300 level open. The longest line was for the Comiskey Dogs, former Comiskey Park. So they have a Comiskey dog, but it was like this little like pencil dick of a hot dog looking thing with a couple of small pickles on it. I was like, I'm not getting that. So I went with a bratwurst with grilled onions, and that was the move. I loved that.
You mentioned this earlier. After my negative experiences with getting jumbo dogs and at stadiums or
You've stuck
parks,
with skinny ones.
You need the pencil dick dog.
yeah, because sometimes you bite into that girthy one and it's cold.
It's cool on the inside.
They don't
No,
cook
I
it
hadn't
all the
thought
way.
of that. I hadn't thought of that.
I
don't
kind of
think-
like the pencil dicks.
They don't. I don't think. I'd like to think they don't make that mistakes at baseball parks
Can't
because
trust it.
they're so known for their hot dogs. Like you get that mistake at Memorial Coliseum at USC, but not at a baseball
But
stadium.
they were blowing through stuff. I don't think that even though there were that few people there, they still did not have the correct amount of food ready at the time. I had followed a smell for about, 5 sections. I was like, there's something that smells so good.
And it was a homeless man taking a dump.
Basically, that's kind of like the baseball game we watched. But it was a steak sandwich, and I roll up there, and they're like, we're out of steak. I'm like, it's the 4th inning. It's like, we are not even deep
What
into
is
this
it,
game.
Wagyu?
Yeah, right? It was just like,
What if they
incredible.
said, "Hey,
Those-
we can make you a steak, but it's all the fat trimmings. It's all that's left."
like
you take
crispy
it?
bits, I would do that, yeah.
You would?
Yeah.
Some crispy, some
Any
like
type of bit
tender.
he's in for.
Yeah.
big bit guy. Huh?
I'm all about the bits these days. I'll take every bit. I will take all the bits.
If you're a true Chicagoan, you know what they call bratwurst with like grilled onions? There's a name for it. It was invented by a guy back in the early 1900s.
Mr. Chicago.
That what's the name of the famous hot dog place that's now in Arizona too? I don't know. It's from Chicago, but there's a name for the brat. It's called Maxwell Street Polish.
Oh, okay, sure. Yep. I'll take that.
Write that down.
What are you, not a local?
I was not. No, I was there for a work conference, and I spent. I had to do this thing for the marketing team that I'm on, where I basically presented this elevator pitch like 19 times in a row. And so if my voice sounds a little bit shot, it's because I was in this conference room where I was basically yelling and projecting my voice. So we're gonna get through it tonight, but we're a little raspy tonight. I can already tell that the voice is going, but
Yeah, we're recording
It's
this with
kinda sultry.
Michael Bolton.
a little dreamy tonight. That's a little different from the very annoying voice that I somehow have.
I was gonna say this might be more pleasant.
This might
be
be
more
pleasant.
pleasant for the listeners.
For everyone else, yeah, it'll be a little less. Might hurt the ears a little less.
A little less in the nose.
Yeah,
Less
the,
Squidwardy and more Michael Bolton-y.
Sure. Yeah, we'll go with that. On our way there, I encountered a person. So we were flying United, and I didn't have status on that. I'm not like one of the first to board. In fact, it was one of the last to board. I was like flying in the middle seat. So some guy, you're trying to get your bags up. I didn't have enough stuff, so I could just put it underneath. But there was a bro in front of me who very much had just like his whole checked bag for wherever he was going for however many days, so he needed to have that on the flight. I've never seen a person without permission manhandle someone else's bag. Like people get so pissed off on a plane. It's like, do not touch my stuff that's in the overhead compartment. This guy's coming in hot. He's like, I'm going to make my bag fit. And if it comes at the expense of your bag, then that's tough shit. And luckily, like, he did not get like jumped for that. But I don't know if either of you guys tend to be that person, but it was a risky move to
Tend to be the person with no regard for other people's belongings.
Yeah, who has no manners. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Honestly, when I get on planes, I kind of hope that I can witness something crazy. Never have I ever witnessed anything out of the normal.
No one's been dragged off a plane.
On a plane.
Would you like stay mind your own business, or would you?
I just want to eat the popcorn and watch. You know what I mean?
It was to a point where I'm just like kind of like just going, this is not going to end well. And so then he's then precariously moving one over, which is like kind of half perched. And I go, this bag is going to fall on this woman right below. And sure enough,
No.
that bag came down, but I anticipated it, and I prevented this woman from getting concussed. I'm just like, come on,
What
bro.
a hero.
I know. I'm an absolute hero. New voice, new hero, same bit.
Are you making this up?
No, I mean, this is 100% legit what happened, because I knew that this guy was going
Your
to...
spidey senses tingled.
Yeah, I was like, this is not going to go well. So I legitimately put I had a backpack on. I was just ready for something to go wrong, and something very much
This is
did.
what you and Jordan have in common. You're not capable of minding your own business.
Oh, yeah, sorry for
saving her life.
saving someone's life. The difference
And
between
then
me and
Peter
Jordan,
going,
he
hey,
interjects.
don't forget, I saved your life, lady. You owe me.
Yeah, can you trade me so I don't just sit in this middle seat here? But we're back. We've got no voice, but we're going to make it through. Which leads me to, we don't necessarily need to even talk for the rest of the time, because yesterday, Lindsay sent me a TikTok page, which is my new favorite TikTok page. It is a AI generating song creator. And I wanted to play a couple of these because they slap. It's like there's a program that you submit prompts into, and then you tell them kind of what style you want the song to be. This one says, I told AI to create a song called I Feel God in This Chili's Tonight.
In the darkest hour, when I'm feeling down. So now I find true joy in a special place. In the Chili's I'm lifted up off the ground. In this heavenly presence, I feel His embrace. I feel God in this Chili's tonight. Oh, healing my spirit with every bite. All those baby back ribs are possessing my soul. It's the Father, the Son, and the Spirit. Oh,
Kirk Franklin type of shit.
All right. All right.
I dig in that song.
Yeah.
So good.
Chili's is missing out on
So
a big
good.
opportunity.
I
there.
mean, if they don't make that their new anthem, they might as well just stop all that they're doing. Similar to KFC, maybe not as much of a banger, but they also made one for KFC.
real quick.
Yeah.
I saw that Chili's announced today that they are now serving espresso martinis. So
Oh, of course.
let's
You know where that's from, right?
No.
It's from the Vanderpump Girls. It's two of the stars from Vanderpump Rules, the reality show. They created the espresso martini
For
and it's
Chili's?
For Chili's.
Well, Chili's got to make moves at this point because Applebee's is the new grill and bar of the NFL. So
Okay.
a little
Fuck Applebee's first off.
yeah.
And back to KFC.
And back to KFC with a funky blues song about KFC.
Chicken grease in my soul. That's how I roll. KFC, baby. It's my favorite. Oh, give me that bucket. I said, give me that bucket. I think, give me that bucket. My finger licking chicken. From Kentucky to the bayou. The flavor's so right. That secret recipe keeps me up all night. Gotta have that punch, that wonder.
Secret recipe keeps me up all night.
KFC,
What a bar.
baby. It's a chicken paradise.
Oh.
Fried and crispy, can't resist me. KFC, a southern mystery, crunchy chicken, finger licking. Come and get it, that clock is ticking. Fried and crispy, don't you miss me. KFC, you're making history, let's get lost. Oh, keep the cost low. KFC is the gravy gospel.
I mean, come on.
Fried and crispy, don't you miss me? I like that. I
gotta be honest, when you introduced this,
You didn't like it.
I was like, oh, this is
gonna be such a bad
this is
bit.
gonna
I'm
be
notorious
shit.
for this. I always have these
I'm
bad.
in.
Yeah,
I'm in.
It's the perfect app.
I might
really.
start my music career.
I mean, really, if you want to go into country music, AI can single-handedly just take over the country music business because when you think about like how cliche country music can get, again, asking AI to write you a country song.
Sitting on my tailgate, strumming my guitar, sipping on moonshine, watching the stars. Got my boots on, jeans all red, sun-kissed skin, cowboy hat tip. We're living that dirt road love, rolling around in the back of my truck. Mud on the tires, whiskey in a cup, ain't afraid to get a little rough. Living that dirt road love, oh love. Cruising down the highway, raising up some
It's
dust.
just
Got my
perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like
Yeah, that's great. This is great.
The fact that we got 26 seconds into it and no dog was mentioned or whatever is a
Yeah.
little bit of a
Or a
bummer,
blue
but-
Tacoma.
Yeah,
That sounds like Russell Dickerson.
I know that it is. So I am just so on board with this AI. Maybe we should ask them to create a IJMS anthem.
I
Fat
want.
boys sitting and talking about sports and AI songs.
Yep,
that?
That's probably how it would
Hopefully
work.
it's not like that.
I wonder. Maybe I'll bring this next week. Let's do a little research. I wonder if that our online presence is sufficient enough that if I were to go into AI and say, hey, or even give them a link to like our YouTube or to our
Sure,
podcast,
yeah.
and be like, write a song about these guys or this podcast or whatever.
I mean, absolutely. I mean, we've done this, let's see, for like 150 times, hour and a half, 2 hours at a time. I mean, like, our entire identities in Germany have been stolen.
Could they make an AI episode? Should we not tell anyone and do an AI episode?
Crazy enough, this is the AI episode in which we're featuring AI to throw them off the scent. Ooh. Yeah, that's exactly how that goes.
Miguel doesn't like it.
Yeah.
No, I'm trying to think of how it'll go. I think people will be able to tell.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. They'll never know when we're going to drop in an AI episode, and we're just going to come to Pete's and get
I
drunk.
might not be able to tell. But I would be curious, do the episode and an anthem, a song, see if they could do it.
I love that.
I'll look into that.
I like this idea.
Now that Miguel and I are in the AI business.
Yeah, now that you guys
I'm
are
not
in the
going to lie
AI
to you. I
business.
don't know what you guys use to generate AI responses or whatever. I've downloaded some apps to try and do that. I don't think I'm doing it right.
Probably not.
How do you start it? Give me.
Well, like I've done
He just types, show me boobs.
I don't understand.
8008S.
I've tried
5.
write my resume or rewrite my resume or something like this, but I don't.
Sure.
I either don't have the right app or I'm not using the right platform.
Yeah, you're probably not using the right platform.
But I did talk to
and
somebody at work
prompting it
today though,
correctly.
like bringing up AI, and they're like, not into it. AI is going to be destroying lives.
And it's like, sir, you are selling AI
Okay.
software right now.
Okay.
Are you aware of what you are doing right now? But let's see. A would you rather for you guys as we transition into our Masters talk, which is, would you rather play the Masters one time, or would you rather have tickets to the Masters for the rest of your life?
That's pretty easy.
You want to go for the rest of your life?
I would just go. I have no
probably
interest
wanna
in
go.
playing.
Yeah. I mean,
We might be in the minority on
I
that,
think
though.
that the question is, would you rather be able to play Augusta for the rest of your life, living where we are,
Sure.
and the inconvenience of getting there, or would you rather be able to go to the Masters 5 times?
Okay.
I think that's probably a better.
Say that again. Live where we are now and
Yep.
be able to go to Augusta during the Masters for
Yeah.
free.
No, play Augusta as much as you want,
Oh.
Or just go 5 times.
or just go and attend the
The
Masters.
first one, even though I don't golf, that is such an exclusive fucking privilege to be able to. There's so many people that can't, like pros can't even do that. Play Augusta as many times as you want.
Well, I mean, if you've won, you probably can, but
I don't think that's
Even
not
if you've
how.
won, it's
Even if
pretty
you've
hard.
won,
Really?
it is such an
Pretty hard.
exclusive membership that like only members who pay $1 million initiation fee, and every once in a while a guest that they bring can play Augusta. You can't even play it as a winner of the Masters all the time, or as much as
I mean,
you want.
you can. It's just not like other courses where they'll be like, "Oh, we'll clear the course and you can play by yourself."
I heard it's not even that easy.
Yeah, like you have to work with their schedule, and it's
Here's
very-
an interesting one that I saw. Could you the scenario was presented as you're coming in minus 36. You're minus 36 to play the back 9 of Augusta. You're coming in at minus 36 already. Could you hold on and win the Masters? As an and this is a question for you, 20 to 25 handicap golfers. Could you hold on at minus 36 on the back 9 and win the Masters against all those pros?
So, for reference, Scottie won at minus 11, correct?
Yeah.
so you'd have a 25 stroke advantage, roughly.
No.
You wouldn't even just
Yeah.
like break out like your most confident club, just like a 7-iron, and just like putts your way down the course.
No, you couldn't. You couldn't. I mean, even
You
if
don't think
you
that's
did
a big
that,
enough cushion to
you couldn't.
to win it?
You couldn't.
Would you place top 10?
With a 25 shot lead.
Yeah.
I don't even think you could do that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Yeah, I
It's
don't think
interesting
so.
though.
I'm gonna
'cause it makes
boldly
you
say
think.
that I would still win, even though I know I wouldn't.
Now, you're
get his
basing
brain
that
there.
off of you as like a what, 18 to 20 handicap?
Yeah.
Could a scratch golfer hold on, you think?
Yeah. Because if you're a scratch golfer, that means you know.
But you've never played this course.
But if you're
never played Augusta.
But
yeah,
if you're
I
a
mean,
scratch golfer,
you're not a
that
schmo.
means like your worst case scenario is that on a course like that, you're going to shoot plus 10. So you're minus 26.
Yeah, you'd still win there.
Yeah.
It's pretty incredible what Scottie Scheffler has done. I know that he came in as an overwhelming favorite, a favorite which we haven't seen since, the Tiger Woods days. And then he proceeds to just go and do it, man.
And I know I talked last week about how he wasn't even going to be top 5, and I obviously was very, very wrong. He put it together and played incredibly well. But I was kind of, going into Sunday, I was kind of like, oh, he's right on the edge. I was really rooting for Max Homa. I had money on him. And I was like, oh, I think that these guys can, edge Scottie out. They're going to do great. Scottie's got a baby on the mind,
Right.
whatever.
His brain is not there, possibly. And people were like, even in the first couple of rounds, were like, a disappointment was Scottie Scheffler. It was like, he was doing fine.
I think that's ridiculous. The first 2 days, he was killing everyone. I think when you started to believe that it's his to win is when he lost the lead on Saturday and Morikawa became number 1, Homa right behind him, and Aberg right behind him. And Scottie with like -4 became 6. And then the camera turned to him and is like, well, I kind of fucked the last 3 holes up. Let me just turn it up. And he did, and ended the fucking day number 1 again. I was like, yeah, he's not going to lose this
but
shit.
my point is that going into Sunday, it was like -7. Then there was 3 players tied for like -6. There was somebody at -5, -4. Like there was several people right there within one stroke of him. But I literally, I left for like an hour and a half. We went to Mitch and Saran's to give them, we had a gift for them and whatever. We just went over there to say hi. And I came back after an hour and a half, and Scottie was all of a sudden up by like 5 strokes.
The end of Saturday told me that it didn't matter what happened on Sun. It's his. I just didn't think anyone was going to catch up. He was just playing out of his mind.
Yeah.
And another thing I learned, which I'm not going to blame anyone else because I have to take responsibility for being a fucking fool. I got to stop listening to you. Maybe you're not doing it on purpose, but you derail people. You did the Tiger Woods thing, which was a year ago, and then the whole mentioning whether you did it on purpose or not, but he's got a baby on the way, he might withdraw. It really it started to fuck with him.
I said that.
It started to fuck with my head. So from now on, I'm not going to listen to a fucking word.
All right,
You
Mr. Purdue and UConn aren't going to make it.
Listen, that's your fault. The same way I'm taking responsibility. Fool me once.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Now, are you talking about in general or just in golf?
Um,
Probably in general.
The right
You'd
side,
be
the
smart
right
to say
side
in
of my
general.
brain is telling me just in golf, but my entire body is telling me in general in life.
Never to listen to you. That's fair. That makes sense. Scottie Scheffler now on quite a tear again in the last, on-course earnings over the last 6 weeks is over $12.6 million. That's $361,000.
And the guy's not even 30.
Yeah, it's wild.
He's not even 30.
Why is it that he is not getting the Tiger love yet? Is it just because of Tiger's age?
He doesn't have the personality.
He doesn't have the personality. He's just
a
like a
dud.
dominant golfer.
You can't ever.
With a beard now, though.
I don't think you will ever find a golfer in our lifetime that you could compare to the Tiger experience.
Yeah.
You're talking about, number one, that big personality that he had in the world of golf, which is very, be a good boy, follow everyone, just no fist pumping, none of that shit. You're talking about the first black golfer to dominate a sport ran by mostly older white men. there's so many things that Tiger did that's never gonna be done again.
Yeah.
You're not gonna see the Tiger experience with a Scottie Scheffler, a John Rahm, or any of these guys.
The closest we got was that run that Brooks Koepka had, where he won 3 majors in like 2 years or something like that. And, you know, he had a little bit of personality. He was exciting. But I agree with Miguel. Nobody is going to compare to Tiger and his run and the personality he brought to the game. It's going to be very hard to measure up. And Scottie Scheffler, he might get the accolades, but he's never going to have that level of popularity just because he, again, is kind of a dud.
Yeah, and I bet, like, from a marketing perspective, especially with all the stuff with LIV and all this other stuff, that they're, like, would just love to have a face of a sport in Scottie Scheffler. He just gives them nothing to market and to be able to do that.
As a company looking for a face to represent your brand, think about what, like, Michael Jordan went through. Technically, Jordan was offered a deal and was approached with the potential that he could be big. Think about how Nike, Adidas, everyone was salivating at the thought of 18-year-old Tiger winning the fucking Masters. Oh my God. People were probably lining up. His phone was probably blowing up. Imagine if you're one of those sporting brands. It's like, we don't want this. We need this guy right now. Like, he had the world in his at his fingertips.
Speaking of Nike and Tiger, how did you guys feel about seeing Tiger in his Sunday Red brand?
It's very nostalgic.
But
I know it's not
not
Nike.
the same.
It seems
not the same.
It seemed like a Burlington coat factory.
He needs to change the logo.
Yeah, and it
kind of looks like if with the camera views of
phony. Yeah,
camera views of golf, how they're obviously a little bit farther away. It kind of looked the curved Tiger thing with like the stripes on it that look like a golf course.
Yeah.
Did it or did it not look like there was a turd on his shirt?
Yeah. He's got a big old, and that's what
it looked like he had a dookie.
And that's kind of how his weekend ended. You know, he made the cut. That was kind of like his championship, and then he just faded off into the sunset there.
Yeah, and I was listening to an interview with Scott Van Pelt, who obviously covers the Masters, and there was a sadness almost in hearing him talk about, oh, Tiger making the cut. That's a win for him. That's a win for him.
Yeah, what a
and it's
bummer.
Like, Scott, you've been doing this for years, dude. Do you know who we're fucking talking about? Do you think he's going home to one of his many women and Charlie
in one of his many houses, yeah,
and being like, great weekend.
Yeah, good job, everyone.
Like, and I understand
one of the most competitive fucking athletes in the world.
We're most likely at the back end, very, very back end of his career. This quite possibly could be the last Masters he plays. So yes, as a viewer, it's a win that he made the cut because we got to see more Tiger. But if you think for 1 second that he's happy with how it went, I'm pretty sure he finished last.
It was pretty bad towards the end, yeah.
Like, there's no way in hell that he's happy about that.
We were going back to, like, hoping that Scottie Scheffler would be the guy. You know, another person who did not rise to the occasion, which I think that the PGA would love to be the guy, is Rory. Rory did not do so well. Then there were all these rumors that he was going to be going to LIV, and he had to, like, shut down those rumors. There was for $850 million he's going to go there. And it was just like the anti-LIV guy to actually, like, be a successful and, like, win these tournaments. And he's just underperforming every step of the way.
You remember a week or two ago when Braxton said, like, I could not care any less about, like, the Oakland/Sacramento A's. I could not be more over the whole LIV-PGA thing. It's like you're pushing nothing here, man. Like, I'm over it. It's not news anymore.
Well, I tell you what, one of the things that would get me right back on board is if Rory went to LIV. That would be one of the biggest, like, you want to look up sellout in the dictionary. There would be a big old picture of Rory McIlroy.
I thought they merged already.
There's still things going on.
The merger is ongoing.
Right, but that was a big step that was taking. So to still put this out in front of us fans, like, oh, it's still a big divider between LIV and PGA. I'm like, you've merged. You've taken the biggest step that you can.
Well,
the process has started.
The reason that is because literally all they've done to take action on this quote-unquote merger is announce that it's happening.
Yeah,
nothing else has changed, and it's been about a year. And the reason I think that would be so electric is not only was Rory the poster boy for PGA and against LIV, very outspoken against LIV, but also since they've made this merger, obviously these PGA guys have missed out on hundreds of millions of dollars. So if he now is playing like shit, which he is, and he's not making the money that he's used to, he's not getting the brand deals that he's used to because some of these guys like a Scottie Scheffler or whomever is playing better than he is getting those deals. Why not? If I'm not going to be penalized anymore and I'm Rory McIlroy, why not go sign on with LIV, make $850 million fucking dollars, and then I'm welcomed right back to the PGA? Like if I were him and I had that touch of vindictiveness in my blood, oh my God, I'd be signing that contract so quick.
Especially, if you knew that you were going to be coming right back to it. For
yeah,
sure.
Absolutely. You don't lose any of your majors. Fuck that. Let's go.
Yeah, you can play at all the big ones still.
Yep.
And
who cares if
integrity? And who cares if you're Dustin Johnson shooting 13 over or whatever it was?
Yeah.
Who cares?
It still goes home to Paulina Gretzky.
Yeah. One thing that to conclude the Scottie Scheffler side of things, this amazing stat just about his caddy, and it says how good has Scottie Scheffler been this year based on the standard 10% cut for wins. His caddy, Ted Scott, has already earned $1.2 million this year. That would put him 54th of the top 200 PGA players in earnings, ahead of Victor Hovland and Ricky Fowler on the PGA Tour in terms of winnings this year, just as the caddy.
That's impressive.
Yeah, that's pretty great. So, good for those guys.
That would be like a caddy making more than some golfers.
How about that?
It's like they've been posting Caitlin Clark's WNBA salary everywhere you see. If you follow SportsCenter, ESPN, like Caitlin Clark's WNBA salary for the first year is like $76,000 for the year, and then right next to it they posted, "This is how much James Harden was fined for calling the Sixers owner a liar," and it's $100,000, and they're like, she better not call Daryl Morey a liar because she'll be negative 24 grand. But people are making a big deal of her WNBA salary. She also signed a shoe deal for 6 figures. Like, majority of her money will come from endorsements. They're not going to come from WNBA salary. It'll be signing with Nike. It'll be doing Sprite commercials. It'll be all of that stuff. And unfortunately for other WNBA players, I know we kind of made a switch here, but unfortunately for other WNBA players, they don't all get that same opportunity. It's just her name is so big that she's going to get approached for those endorsements. Everyone else will be making, VP of Sport Court money. But.
Yeah, absolutely. And I totally agree. The shoe deal she's about to sign with Nike is going to be awesome. But I do think that she's not an outlier necessarily. Like, I think Angel Reese, I think
the newcomers. Yeah.
What's the big girl?
Camila Cardoso.
Yeah, Cardoso.
Cameron Brink.
Yep.
The Connecticut
Oregon.
girl.
She's from Oregon, right?
Beaverton, yeah.
Yeah.
Her mom works either currently or used to work for Nike.
Yeah.
So she Her mom.
She's the one that's like good friends with Steph, right?
Steph is her godfather.
Yeah.
And her mom was part of the team that designed Dawn Staley's shoes when she was still playing basketball.
Yeah. So I think that more so probably than any other draft, and I hope that this is kind of the first big step in helping women get that recognition and get those kind of endorsement deals for the future. But I think there's going to be a handful of girls from this draft that are going to be paid well through endorsements. And hopefully that kind of boosts not only the viewership of the WNBA. I know that I'm definitely more interested this year than I've ever been. But hopefully that kind of creates a domino effect.
Well, the WNBA draft this year had 4 times as many viewers than it's ever had.
Yeah.
And
But just remember the conversation we had. We're like, oh, should Caitlin Clark take the big 3 money for $5 million? I'm like, well, she's gonna take that attention straight to the WNBA. You saw the draft. You see the increase in viewers. You're seeing endorsement deals and how there's so much more attention given to them. Now the WNBA is looking for expansion. You know, all the cities that they've lost in the past, like Portland used to have one, Houston used to have one, and was one of the most successful WNBA teams in history. And they're looking at expanding to, I don't know how many, but they're considering like 8 cities around the country.
And I hope that what will ultimately end up happening is that we look back 5, 10, 15 years from now and be like, remember when Caitlin Clark was getting $70,000 a year, and now the base salary in the WNBA is over $1 million because of the work that she did with this new cast of WNBA players to lift up the brand enough to get the TV. You know, it's like it's the TV revenue. Like, I mean, it's not like they have all this extra revenue and they're just being super cheap. I mean, it's kind of dependent on what the TV deal is. But then we look at like the Indiana Fever, for instance, like 36 of her games are going to be on ESPN or ABC coming up this year.
As soon as she got drafted, I think within an hour, all Indiana Fever Caitlin Clark jerseys sold out.
Even the big boy ones, all the 2XLs and all that stuff too.
So it's true. Like, you want this to be like the springboard to hopefully a big change in the future. But yeah, it's like, it's not a magic thing. It's not because, you know, some people are sexist or they just don't want to pay them. It's like simple economics.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You don't have TV deals. You don't have viewers. No one's paying attention. It's like when people are complaining about that, and I ask some women, I'm like, do you watch WNBA? You don't.
Right.
You don't even support it. You support a sport that your significant other watches that you don't give a shit about.
You don't.
It's like, that's why they don't get any money. But hopefully that changes, because it is kind of tough to swallow that you're the biggest WNBA star and an NBA referee makes more money than you.
Yeah, for sure.
For like annually. That's fucking insane.
Yeah, all of us here
Scott Foster's a fucking millionaire.
Yeah.
And you are Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, Lisa Leslie, and you don't even come close.
Yeah, we're sitting here in our day jobs, definitely not the best in our craft or our sport or our profession, and all of us are making more than Caitlin Clark is. I mean, it's like, it's a little, you know, frustrating, I would imagine. And, you know, to know that you're...
Caitlin Clark doesn't even get a 3% raise standard.
Yeah. It's like, you know, her like slush fund is her salary and her endorsement money is her thing. It's turned on its head a little bit when you're in the NBA, where your endorsements are your slush versus your base salary in the NBA.
Her base salary will probably barely pay her taxes.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, I tell you what, if you guys want to put a bet on anything, I'll take the Chicago Sky to win the WNBA this next year.
Versus what? The field?
I mean, you pick a team.
No, that's...
I haven't looked at the odds. I mean, I have
the
no
Chicago
idea.
Sky has Cardoso.
Satu Sabali is on that team, isn't she?
Yeah,
They
she
got
is.
Cardoza and Angel Reese.
And they still have Candace Parker.
Yep.
But
those two on the same team is pretty magnetic.
That's tough to beat. You have because Caitlin Clark didn't go to a bad team. The Fever's pretty stacked. The Liberty's pretty stacked with Brianna Stewart and Sabrina. And
look at him compliment. Look at
the
it.
team,
You didn't mean to.
who's the team that was won the last 2 championships?
Vegas,
The
Aces.
Aces.
Yeah.
They're still stacked.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. I'm not gonna make that bet now because the sky is pretty fucking loaded.
Their roster's good.
You don't even
Good
need a point
WNBA
guard.
talk.
Just put those 3 in the post. You're not gonna stop them.
Yeah. I think between Angel Reese and Cardoza, they've shot or made less than 20 3-point shots in the last however many years in their college career. That it's just going to be bully ball.
Just a post up, just bang down low type of a game. Gotta love that.
Someone's getting finger banged now.
I was gonna say, I was like, you know what?
Come on.
I was gonna.
All right,
try-
moving on, moving on,
I was
moving on.
gonna try not to sexualize
We were
this.
doing so good
Yeah.
respecting women.
Yeah,
there.
but that's fake.
And then we got quiet for 2 seconds, and we're like, "This is gonna be kind of hot, isn't it? This is gonna be really hot, isn't it? All right, cool.
Moving on.
Moving on, something not so sexy. If we can transition to the NBA, I wanted to talk a little bit just about within the playing games and all this. You had the Golden State Warriors get eliminated by the Sacramento Kings earlier this week. And, obviously Klay goes 0 for 10, 0 for 6 from 3, possibly his final game as a Warrior. And obviously, there's a bunch of people who are saying, oh, we want to make sure that, bring Klay back and all this other stuff. And I'm curious your guys' thoughts on this, because when I think about the Warriors and where they're at in possibly a crossroads, they play, a couple of rookies. They start one in that game. And thinking about the new guard of the Warriors, to me, trying to keep the big 3 of these guys together is almost kind of sad. And it's kind of like a disservice to the Warriors fan base, and just kind of knowing when the time is time.
If you're looking at it from the ownership standpoint, you owe more to those guys than you do the fucking fan. You've given that fan base so much to be grateful for in the last few years. I know it's easy to think with what just happened recently with how it's not working anymore, or at least from this season. But it's almost like that ownership and that management's in a lose-lose situation. You decide to break them up, and none of those guys, whoever stays, won't be happy. It'll be the first time ever in their career that they're not going to be playing with the other one or the other 2. Or if you keep them and it is father time, then yeah, you're just riding another season like this. I feel like there's no winning for the Warriors with this. Steph voiced out hey, I can't imagine playing without these 2. I want to run it back. I want to win. That's all I care about. But
you can run it back, but there's no one who expects you to win at this point, right?
Steph's still Steph. Klay's hard to tell. I don't know if he has a mental block or.
Yeah, he seems to be the biggest question mark in this equation, because I think the Klay, especially of this season, has been where has it gone?
Not that guy. He
Yeah.
hasn't been that guy. And that's the thing. It's okay, so you say you run it back and you bring these guys, and to me, I don't necessarily think that you plan on winning. I don't think you're in win mode there. But what you're doing is you're kind of keeping the marketing machine alive. You're kind of knowing that you're still going to, you're $100 million over the luxury tax at this point. You are just paying out your ass. And you have a very expensive, season ticket. You make them pay for the right to even buy that ticket. There's a lot of stuff that goes into that. And obviously, you're not going to get rid of Steph. I saw some stupid reports today. There's no validity to it about just how much do the Lakers give up to get Steph Curry? It's stop it. You're not going to do that.
Always the Lakers. Pick somebody else.
Yeah. But
Everyone
thinking,
goes to the Lakers.
Okay, so Klay comes back. But you have to be on a very team favorable deal at that point, right? 2 years, $40 million, maybe. You know, like he's making $40+ million this year. But like, you know, you've got to take like a massive pay cut, in my opinion, to bring him back.
Yeah. I mean, that seems to be the only thing to make sense. If your goal is to keep everybody together and kind of, you know, ride the nostalgia that you have with this team or whatever you want to call it, then I think that's a must. You've got to go to Klay and be like, hey, we want to keep you around. We want to, quote unquote, run it back. But to do that, you know, you've got to take a pay cut. You're not doing the same things that you've done to earn the contract that you currently have. And I think that's just, at the end of the day, this is a business, and you've got to make those kind of decisions. And if he's not willing to do that, then
and he is an unrestricted free agent, so it's not like they're trying to trade him or anything like that. Like, he can do whatever he wants at this point.
Yeah, and if he's not willing to do that, then it's like, okay, we love you, but then go test the market.
Correct me if I'm wrong. You're not getting paid the amount of money. I think people tend to speak about you're getting paid this much money because you're currently doing well. Usually you don't get the payday until after you've performed. So this money that Klay was paid was based on what he did before.
Sure.
So why are people speaking like you didn't earn that? This big contract is because of what they did before.
But
Yeah.
I think that's...
To ask him to take a pay cut for what he's earned for winning a championship in 2021 and previous is crazy.
But I think you're absolutely right. But that's half of it. Like in any job, when you've done well, you get a pay raise. And then you continue to keep that pay if you continue to do well. It's with any sales job. Hey, you had a huge month. We're going to increase your pay by X amount of $1,000 per month.
Klay Thompson's going to be on a PIP. You know, we've got to get him on an
And
improvement
then,
plan.
you know, you get 6 months down the road and, you know, you're not hitting those same numbers. They're going to come to you and say, hey, we gave you this pay raise because we thought that you were going to be able to continue to do what you had done for that time. And we appreciate that. We're not trying to say we don't appreciate you, but you're not doing what you did when we gave you the pay raise, and that was the expectation. So I think I don't think it's like a disrespect to him.
Yeah.
I think you're absolutely right, but there's that's half of it.
Here's what I think they're going to do. I think they're going to try and shed the contracts of CP3. They're going to try and shed the contract of Andrew Wiggins, and then try and get Klay back on a more favorable deal. The thing that I'm a little bit like, I'm not necessarily advocating for them to get rid of Klay, but I feel like the Warriors have always been a very conscious, aware franchise. They knew when to move off of Monte Ellis. They knew that they had to make that tough decision to then, you know, move in to get the Draymond and the Klay. They go, you know what, Jordan Poole's not it. Jordan Poole, and they were right about that. But
it's not Bob Myers running the show anymore.
It's not, but I mean, it kind of like bringing back Klay. If he ends up winning the contract battle, goes against kind of the way that this team has been in making these tougher decisions. And if you have to enter legacy mode for a few years, then I suppose that I can understand that. But don't look at it like you're going to win. That you're making this move because you're going to win a championship.
This franchise though hasn't looked at these moves that the Golden State Warriors make. It's not necessarily because of skill of one versus the other. Every move they've made is because of chemistry and culture and making certain people happy. And like, you know what I mean? Keeping the big three happy. Every move, like Jordan Poole didn't gel with those guys.
No, he did not.
Got rid of them.
No, he did not.
It's not because we're getting the best player and we're getting rid of the worst player. It's always been like, who's going to help the locker room, the camaraderie, and all that stuff. That's the move they've made. That's what makes me... I mean, I would completely understand it, if not, like, agree with it, that it's time to move on from Klay. I don't think his head is in basketball anymore.
Right. I mean, he's kind of like self-proclaimed, like, well, maybe this is it. You know,
I think it would make sense. He might even do them a favor and be like, you know what? I think I'm done. I don't think I got it.
Done retiring or done and going somewhere else?
I think he looks like he's done with basketball.
I'm not sure about that.
I don't know about that, and maybe you're right, but I agree with you to a certain extent. Where I think if they were to go to him and just be like, Klay, we want you here, but you're taking up too much cap space or whatever. We need to reorganize your contract or restructure your contract.
Yeah, we need to be a sixth man or take on a different role, maybe.
Yeah, and I mean, he's kind of already fallen into that semi-six man, semi-starter role.
Right. I mean, like he had been removed from the starting lineup and such and everything. But I guess kind of the question, though, is like if you're Klay, if you guys are Klay in this instance and you are thinking about like, okay, I could go to maybe a younger team and be a veteran and I could be a mentor or whatever, right? And maybe get more playing time and get paid more.
It doesn't happen, though.
No, but you know, could he say that he gets like 50, 55 million or something like that, or even 60 million, or they match whatever he had been making, 2 years, 80, I don't know what it is, versus like coming back to the Warriors and say that's like with the Magic or a team with like a ton of cap space and kind of a growing, you know, young guys, Detroit Pistons type of mindset.
Or Wizards or something.
Yeah, or you go back to the back with Jordan Poole, which would be funny with the Wizards. Yeah. But like, or you go back to the Warriors and take a massive pay cut and play less. Do you go back?
No, there's no team that's gonna pay him as much money right now because you're not coming off of a successful season individually. So it's not like he killed it as part of the Warriors and he goes, it's time for me to move on. Then you have a selling point. No one is going to pay him that amount and be like, you're the new star of our team. He's going to go and be the Blake Griffin of the Boston Celtics and come off a 6th, 7th, 8th guy in a rotation, which I don't know if he wants.
Yeah, I think that the difference is I think that he could go to one of those teams that we named and be a starter and maybe not get what he's getting currently, but he could get more than what the Warriors are going to offer him. Because I think the Warriors are at an advantageous position where they have the ability to say, hey, we have enough other good players where, you know, we could use the cap space, the money that we're paying you, to go and get somebody to add a piece to our team that already is in the play-in. If we just were kind of get that money from you and get somebody else, we could go farther. But you're going to have to take a big hit. You know what I mean?
Maybe
Whereas he could go somewhere else, make more money, not the same, and start and play for a shitty team.
Maybe I could be way off, but you look at somebody's body language and just like how their eyes look. There's no love in playing basketball for him anymore.
Yeah, and I don't think you're off on that.
I feel like if he's going somewhere, it's like it's just waiting to die somewhere else.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
collect that paycheck.
why not retire a Warrior? I follow him on social media. He loves going on his boat. He loves chilling with his dog. And he's not training. And like, just enjoy your life. You're you're set for life.
He's made $250 million.
He's good.
You're fine.
Like, why
Why
tarnish your career by going to like a Wizards and then figuring out and realizing, okay, I am done. And then you spent the last year of your season as a Wizard, retire as a Warrior, being there for 14 years.
I completely agree with you. If I was in Klay Thompson's shoes, I would absolutely say, hey, I'll stay here. I'll be that role player guy. I'll be that supporting veteran
until I'm done.
And I'll take the pay cut. I've made $250 million or whatever.
I'll earn my keep through the marketing aspect.
You know what this is? You know what the Warriors season this year really is? Chris Paul's never beaten the Warriors, and he holds such a grudge. He went to the team to sabotage them. And this is exactly what happened. This is why the Warriors didn't make the playoffs.
Another Chris Paul playoff loss.
It's an inside job by Chris Paul.
Yeah.
Even though he got 10 minutes?
Well, that's enough.
Still a loss on his book.
A big loss for another team, and who will also be out in Friday's game, is a Zion Williamson. He had scored, 40 points against the Lakers in the first playing game.
He was killing the Lakers.
Absolutely killing the Lakers. And then guess what happens is a hamstring injury. He's good until he's not. And it's just
Okay,
kind of
that's
like,
a bullshit fucking take.
He's
good until he's not.
He's good until he gets hurt. That's what I'm saying.
That's much different than saying he's good until he's not.
Well, what I was saying is he's good until he's not able to be good
because
anymore. He gets hurt again.
No one in his fucking team carried any weight in that game, and he had to do everything himself.
And then he gets hurt. I'm just saying that, like,
yeah, what a piece of shit, right?
He's following every
fucking
single.
idiot.
He's following his trend as he always does.
I think
he just gets hurt.
I think what Peter is trying
Blame somebody
to
for
say,
being injured. What a non-athlete take.
I think what Peter is trying to say is that game was kind of a microcosm
of his
career.
Everything.
Yeah.
And it was.
Say anything different about that. How is that not?
Would the Pelicans have been in the situation they are in without him?
No, that's what I'm saying. Then he gets hurt.
Like, why
At the
don't we?
perfect time.
Why don't we look at other players not performing, like a CJ McCollum, for example? Where's
CJ
he at?
sucks.
Yeah, great.
CJ
Is he always
underperformed.
healthy? Cool. What did he score? 9 points.
He
Great.
runs a lot.
Fucking awesome.
What happened to him? Just couldn't do anything without Dame, huh?
Listen, I will take a 40-point, 11 rebound game from Zion with a hurt hamstring than 82 game season from a CJ McCollum. All fucking day.
But you
All
both
day.
lose. You both lose is what I'm getting at.
Yeah,
It's
it
like-
sounds like
it's
a
the-
lose-lose
it's the-
situation. I'll take the more talented
It's
one.
the Anthony Davis sort of thing, right? Where it's like you're so dominant, but we can't keep you on the court. I'm not like trying to criticize a guy. I'm just saying that it's an unfortunate situation. I'm not blaming a guy for getting hurt. I'm just saying it sucks that that's what happens.
You can't turn your tone into it's an unfortunate situation
It's
when
an
you went on
unfortunate-
attack mode for the first half
There
of
was
this.
no attack mode on that. I was saying he was good until he wasn't able to be good, and then I said it wrong.
Okay,
apparently.
Skip.
It's your cold voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
No,
just defensive. He's all nervous about Zion, so he just takes it. You know,
Why am I
defensive.
nervous about Zion? He's not even on my team.
Well, he's your guy.
I like Zion
Yeah, he's a Duke guy.
the same way that I like anyone that you take a stance against. Like you literally, you should be proud that you make me like people that I hate because you're against them. You should be proud. That's very
So anyways,
powerful.
I am saying that it's unfortunate because you get to that point. They were going to win that game. I was excited that they were going to be able to knock the Lakers out, and then they couldn't.
I don't know if they were going to win that game. They had a better chance with them.
They had a better chance.
That's for sure.
Now he's going to be out against the Sacramento Kings.
I think we can all agree, though, basketball is more fun when Zion Williamson is playing.
Absolutely.
He's a fun player to watch. He's very what's the word? Like he steals the spotlight. People.
He's a big personality. Like he has a presence when he plays.
Yeah.
You can't ignore him.
Yeah.
But it's like the guy can't win. People called him fat. He showed up this season 25 pounds less.
Lighter. I'll give him. I won't even criticize
And then
the way he got hurt. Because
And then
I'm sure
he killed it. How many games did he miss this season? I think less than 10. He's played majority. This is the most games he's played. This is the most games Anthony Davis has played in his career. He missed like 6 games. And that rule has probably worked. The new Adam Silver rule. And the first second that Zion gets hurt, all the same criticism is back. And it's like, dude, the guy can't win. He'll do everything that, like, people will find a way to go back and bring up old shit or just go back to criticizing
that's
you
just
no
kinda-
matter what you do.
That's just kind of it. Like, I mean, like, there are players that are injury prone. AD is injury prone. We've talked about Zach Collins, back when he was with the Blazers.
Why mention a name like that along with the superstars you're mentioning?
Listen, I'm not
Derrick
trying.
Rose.
I am not. Yes, I'm not trying.
I'm
to
close with their
put them-
family.
Shut up. I'm not trying to put them in the same thing. I'm just talking about guys that we know are injury prone.
Talk about guys that matter. Zach Collins, are you goddamn kidding me?
We're talking about players that when you're looking at their potential, we know that person because they're in our market. I'm not trying to put him on the same status. You're taking it places.
I think that at least for me, and I'll be the first to admit that I'm a casual NBA fawn,
Mr. Fawn.
Because you went to Italy.
Yes. But when I was watching this game and saw everything kind of go down, the first thing to come to mind was like, well, goddamn. Like, there was a sense of like disappointment, and it's not his fault. Obviously, it's not like he wants to get injured, but there is a sense of like, oh, same old Zion.
Here we are again.
You know what I mean? And again, I'm not trying to necessarily defend Peter, and I'm not.
I would never.
I would never do that. I'm no dummy. But there is a sense of like, well, fuck, dude. You know, and it's similar feelings that you've probably had as a Lakers fan with Anthony Davis.
But here's my only point, though. Here's a difference. You get annoyed by somebody like Anthony Davis because it's like you breathe on him and he's hurt. And he's soft. He's made of glass. It's the same way that I felt about Kawhi.
Yeah, Kawhi.
And Anthony Davis are kind of in the same boat. Zion, the reason I don't put him in the same category, as frustrating as it is when he gets hurt, he plays so much harder than any of the guys in that injury list that you can name. And he plays that way because that's the only way he knows how to play, but also his team doesn't run without him. LeBron can run the Lakers. Harden and Paul George and them can run the Clippers. Zion has to do more than the average superstar with the Pelicans because everybody else sucks. CJ sucks. CJ's always fucking sucked. Brandon Ingram was good until he was not this season.
Until he was not.
Not because of injury. He sucked. They didn't even play him when Zion went out, which was confusing. But he hasn't been performing. I just feel like Zion puts himself at risk for injury because he has to go that much harder.
Yeah, he's always been an explosive player, and it hasn't been good for him when he's been overweight. And
Yeah, and I think that also adds kind of to the argument that it might be his detriment, detriment, is that he goes so hard that he's getting these injuries.
He's a bigger John Morant.
And if
it's the same exact game.
If he could learn to maybe take just an inch off the gas pedal.
Yeah, maybe not break through his shoes all the time. He did it once, I know.
Yeah.
Did it one time.
That was bad take.
I just don't think he's capable of. How do you change your game? How does he change his game?
The greatest players in any sport learn how to change their game.
Yeah.
Write that down.
Write that down.
I feel like you're looking for a way to like call me out on something, but there's nothing.
I wasn't. I honestly
you
was
have this
not.
look like wait.
I just have in my notes Zion good until he got hurt.
Hater.
That's how it was.
How dare you write that note?
How dare I write that down? When you look at players who may have changed their game and not for the better, it is what happened with the Milwaukee Bucks. They fire Adrian Griffin midseason. They're a number 2 seed. They're 25 games over 500 when they do it. And then they end up as a 3 seed against an unfavorable, what I would say, matchup against the Pacers. And so it's just kind of funny just to see, like, we've always talked on this podcast about, like, grass isn't always greener. And in this case, even with Doc, it was just like, no, this was so much harder than I thought it was going to be. Bro, you had fucking Damian Lillard and Zion Williamson on your team. You got all these guys. Like, how do you fuck that up? And now you're going to get bounced in the first round.
You mean Giannis?
Did I say Zion again?
Yeah.
That's what I meant.
I'm not pro Doc Rivers, but I feel like he's going to get a lot of blame for this. He doesn't necessarily deserve all the blame. Damian Lillard wasn't a good move.
No, yeah.
It wasn't a good move. The Milwaukee Bucks championship team consisted of good role players, great shooters, and really good defensive players. You traded all of that for another superstar who needs the ball.
And who sucks at defense.
The thing is, the Bucks failed Dame. That's what the headline is going to be. The Bucks failed Dame, who's chasing a ring. No, Dame will fail any team that he goes to because he doesn't fucking defend. That's what happens. And all he does is take the ball away from the current star so he can get his, but he will not defend on the other side of the ball. Dame is a great scorer and a clutch shooter. That's where it stops. I don't think I will ever consider him a great player.
And then on the flip side, the Boston Celtics go and proceed to sign Drew Holiday to a 4-year extension worth $160 million, $135, whatever it is. Basically locking up like their long-term future with a guy that the Blazers ended up trading to their, I guess, kind of rival within the East, at least in terms of like what you would consider top-tiered opponents or whatnot. So,
Yeah, I know we talked about this a few weeks ago, but if the Celtics don't win this NBA championship, I would be incredibly surprised. They just seem so poised. I know, obviously, the Nuggets are kind of a team that's bearing down, but God, the Celtics just seem like they have all the pieces, and I think Drew Holiday is a big part of that.
I mean, he's so instrumental in that entire operation.
Yeah.
And when you come to think about, like, you don't even know, like, maybe you trade him to be a Dame stopper. They might not even need to stop Dame. They might not even get to that point.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it.
Doesn't seem like
Dame
it
needs to be with a team like the Blazers where he's the only one. And then they need to be happy with them making it to the playoffs every once in a while and getting bounced in the first or second round. That's the peak of having Dame as your one and only star on the team. And he'll hit clutch shots. That's about it. It's never going to take you to the promised land.
Perhaps not. And what will also not take you to the promised land is wherever Jontay Porter is currently, the now disgraced banned NBA player.
For life.
Brother of Michael Porter Jr., who basically used, friends' accounts or all this other stuff, gave insider information where people were placing bets on him to underperform. And, of course, that stuff was flagged. It was like, oh, yeah, I'm going to put $80,000 to win $1.1 million on this guy who you would never expect that kind of movement or that type of inventory going through on one guy to underperform in a game. And, of course, that got frozen. Like, these guys are so dumb. It's like you just, like, immediately, like, out yourself in this. And, like, how, of course, that was going to get flagged.
It's a dumb move, and I get it. And it's not a pro gambling take, even though we all like to sports bet and all that. It's a dumb move, and I get that they need to be punished, but isn't it kind of hypocritical to like do such harsh punishments for gambling and for like steroid use, and it's all directed to like ruining the glory and the pureness of the game. But when it comes to like domestic violence, you can come back anytime.
That is true.
It's you pick and choose your battles here. It's like, oh, Adrian Peterson, as much as I love him, can play again. Kareem Hunt can play again. They only beat people. That's fine. Assault. But, dude, you went on DraftKings? You went on FanDuel? You're banned for life.
But, I mean, like, when you're looking at, and this is in no way putting this against domestic violence here. This is talking about, like, the results. You are betting on the results of a game. Not necessarily, like, on whether or not someone assaults.
But that's what I mean. Like, the higher power when it comes to this is telling you what's more important. It's like, don't ruin the game that we love.
Yeah, don't ruin the game.
But
you can ruin your personal life.
You can beat the shit out of your wife. Don't ruin the game that we love. Don't tarnish it.
I also think that this was an opportunity for the NBA to throw the hammer down on somebody who's
make an example.
Yeah, I mean, you always talk about the martyrdom
mid-level.
Yeah, for sure.
To kind of let everybody know, like, hey, don't fuck around with this because this is what's coming for you. And Jontay was kind of the perfect candidate for this. Not too popular, didn't get a ton of playing time.
Will always be known as his
and everybody
brother.
Well, now he'll always be remembered as that guy who got banned from the NBA for life.
True.
And I
Joins a list. There's a list. He joins a list of like 10.
yeah.
But I'm pretty sure he might be like one of the 2 that's from gambling. The rest is like steroids,
Yeah.
HGH, and one is for slapping PJ Carlesimo.
That did happen. Yeah.
Latrell Sprewell. Or choking him.
Yeah, it was a little bit more.
A little different.
A little slap there. But yeah, just like very easy for this to get tracked. I mean, like these guys like are monitored all over the place. They flag anything for any possible impropriety.
I saw this when it was announced or, tweeted out, whatever. I thought there had to be at least one conversation that he had with one of his buddies on the phone where he said the words, "Dude, how would they ever find out?"
Yeah.
Is this the same thing that Calvin Ridley did?
No.
No, because Calvin Ridley
He never bet on himself.
never bet on any games.
So this guy bet on games he was a part of.
No, he gave information to his friends to bet on him that he would basically go under in certain statistics.
Correct. I think that Calvin Ridley bet on the Falcons one time. It was a game in which he was not playing in, and he bet for them to win.
Yeah.
So that was a little different. He got the year-long, suspension.
He was basically like shaving his stats.
Yeah, he was very much just controlling and fixing the outcome.
Yeah. Classic Adam Sandler longest yard situation.
Exactly like that. Think exactly like
You get it now?
Yeah.
Sounds
really-
exciting. Hey,
really
it's all about control. I get where he's coming from.
Yeah.
Really just hit home. And you know what? And maybe that's if you thought that you could get a cool $1 million out of that or whatever.
I don't even think he was betting that much.
Well, there were a couple, like, I think that they said it was like $15 to like $80,000. It was a very wide range.
So let's say that you were having your friends bet enough to win like $100,000. I don't even think it'll match up or measure up to like what he was making in the NBA. Like to risk that, he was probably
That's
making
why
like
it's so
a
fucking stupid.
cool fucking $2 million a year, maybe,
Right,
If
yeah.
not more.
He probably was like, yeah, just give me like half.
Yeah, just give me a little cut.
Yeah, $50,000. All right,
Well, you got
lunch money.
10 people doing that. That's a $500,000 real quick.
That's true. Hook your boys up. Maybe you get a cut of that and whatnot. Next week, we're going to be talking about the NFL draft a lot. I wanted to go over at least the
When is
top.
Next week.
Next Thursday, I believe.
Doesn't it start on Wednesday?
No, it's a Thursday.
So
Yeah, it's a
25th?
Thursday. Yeah. And so wanted to go over one of the probably most respected mock drafts out there is Peter Schrager from NFL.com, NFL Network, and wanted to go through at least the top 10 here with Caleb Williams as number 1 to the Bears, no surprise there. Jaden Daniels, number 2 to the Washington Commanders. Drake May, number 3 to the Patriots. Number 4, J.J. McCarthy to the New York Giants. So you go top 4 are all quarterback. And then finally you get to the Chargers with the 5th pick, Marvin Harrison Jr., the 6th pick, Romeo Doomsday, whatever, you know what I'm saying.
Doomsday.
Doomsday. Number 8, Dallas Turner. Oh, that's number 7, Joe Alt, the offensive tackle from Notre Dame. Then you have the Falcons at number 8 with Dallas Turner, the edge rusher from Alabama. And then, let's see, number 9, Malik Neighbors, wide receiver from LSU. And then number 10, Brock Bowers to the New York Jets. Just kind of curious your guys' initial thoughts of that.
3
Top
receivers, 4 quarterbacks, 1 tight end.
And an offensive tackle. Yeah.
Damn, it's all skilled position, huh? No one cares about the line.
Yeah, I know, seriously. And I mean, like, if you look at that up and down, and say that is the ultimate list there, which one are you like, I'm not so sure about that one?
I think the J.J. McCarthy, Marvin Harrison is probably a toss-up.
What makes you say that about
Where's
Harrison?
J.J. McCarthy go?
4 to the
Four.
Giants,
I
allegedly.
I think there's a possibility that Marvin Harrison goes for.
Yeah, because why? Because the Giants.
You're not saying that like, I got it. I thought you were saying that you were worried about both those picks.
No. I'm saying that they'll probably swap.
That you'll
Yeah,
swap.
the Giants
Got it,
just
got it,
paid
got it.
Daniel Jones.
Yeah, but they don't want that. They probably have outs in that contract.
Why not just get him more weapons?
They got Tommy DeVito.
Because he's still Daniel Jones and he runs a lot. I don't know. He might have weapons.
Also-
He won't be able to find them.
Also, I know that they do this in the weeks leading up to the draft. They'll throw out random mock drafts where it's like, oh, Drake May is being talked about as going first. I think there is a chance, possibly not so much with Caleb Williams not going first, but the Drake May, Jaden Daniels. I think the 2-3 is pretty interchangeable.
I was about to say I will bet you on Drake May not going to the Bears as number one.
Yeah,
guaranteed.
Yeah.
They're not going to
They're
draft
locked
a
in.
mirror image of a Trubisky,
Yeah.
a Rex Grossman, and everyone else that they've had.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Bears are locked in at Caleb Williams.
Yeah, but the 2-3, I think it's probably 50-50. It's really up to the Commanders just to decide who they want. I think there's equal chance that they take either one.
I think it's Cliff Kingsbury, right?
Cliff Kingsbury.
He's so high on Jaden Daniels. I don't think he wants anything to do with Drake May. He loves Jaden Daniels. He loves that type of quarterback to go there. Because Drake May, you can kind of say, like, he's not – I mean, we don't know how he's going to perform, but if you're looking at his build and everything else, it's the same quarterback they had last season, Sam Howell.
Right,
It's
yeah.
the same dude.
I was going to ask, is Drake May this year's, like, Mitch Trubisky, Daniel Jones
I think
type?
Drake May is this year's Kenny Pickett.
Sure, okay.
Like, that's what I don't have a lot of hope for him.
But
Yeah.
over J.J. McCarthy, though. Like, I mean,
I think J.J. McCarthy will be better than Drake May.
And maybe you could throw him in that pile as
Yeah.
could he jump up into one of those top 3?
Possibly.
Because obviously his draft stock has risen if people are putting him number 4. But yeah, I think it would be dumb for the Giants to pass up on Marvin Harrison Jr. Like,
Yeah, I feel like
even if you have to keep Daniel Jones for another
Half
year
the
or two.
NFL fans believe that the Giants want a quarterback, and the other half say give Daniel Jones somebody to throw to. Like, if I'm going to come up with my own 5, I would say it would go Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Patriots take J.J. McCarthy, and the Giants take Marvin Harrison, and then
you want Brock Bowers to the Chargers.
if it works out like that, great.
Yeah.
But why would the Patriots want a kind of similar quarterback to Mac Jones who didn't work out? I'm not just talking about that they're white, but like Mac Jones played as well as Drake May did in college.
He played a lot better.
But you can get a different frame quarterback at J.J. McCarthy, taller, lankier, maybe not as strong of an arm, but I would say is different than who they've had.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to watch it because I do feel like there's a little bit, obviously outside of like those kind of, first 2 picks, I think are probably a little bit more secure. Outside of that, I do think there could be a lot of parity and a lot of fun in this draft.
I was going to ask if you guys could foresee a lot of movement. Maybe one of those top 10 comes up and tries to get, within the top 5.
I've heard that the Bears are maybe taking that second pick that they have and maybe trying to trade up.
Shop that. Oh, trade up.
Trade up.
Interesting.
Get Caleb Williams and Marvin Harrison.
Oh, shoot.
Ever heard of it?
I have now.
Yeah.
I have now.
But yeah, I mean, ideally, like if you're a Chargers fan, being able to get Marvin Harrison with the needs that the Chargers have, boy howdy, would that be nice.
It's making more and more sense that they're not. I mean, as a number 5, if they have the 5th pick, they're taking a wide receiver.
The Chargers.
They have to.
Yeah,
I mean, they're either taking a receiver or they're taking a fucking offensive tackle. That's what I see them doing.
Well, if they have that 5th spot, which they do, and they don't trade it away, either they're taking Marvin Harrison if he's available still, or they're taking a Dunze. That's just...
They're taking a skilled wide receiver. Now, there's also no way that by the time the Chargers make a 2nd pick, that Brock Bowers will still be available.
No.
So there's no way they end up with him.
Yeah.
I could foresee some movement, not necessarily in the top 5. I think that once you get to the Cardinals at 6, I think the Cardinals might be a bit of a wild card there. I could be wrong, but
We'll see.
I am excited for that. I'm excited to get my voice back. I'm trying to maybe cut
Yeah,
this.
it's
because
getting worse as
it's-
the more you talk.
It is
Yeah,
non-existent. at this
COVID is
point.
over. You know that, right?
Very aware.
It's been 4 years.
Like I said, I talked all day at this conference here in Chicago, and now here we are. So I think maybe we'll cut it because it doesn't sound good. Usually it doesn't with me talking, and now the voice is gone.
I think you're just taking this as an opportunity to flex that you're Tony Robbins at your job, giving speeches to
everyone,
1,000 people. Walk on these hot coals.
Well, Tony Robbins never has a voice, so.
Hey guys,
He just shows you his giant hands.
You remember when he was in Shallow Hal?
Great
was.
role. He's the one who hypnotized them
Yeah.
to be able to see the
That's
beauty on the
right.
inside.
Yeah. Just thought I'd throw that in there.
what a multi-layer guy.
There's Rosie behind that whale. It's a great movie, dude.
Oh, goodness.
Maybe I'll play us out here with some AI music again rather than our traditional music. We might as well. AI told me to create.
Yeah, it's not licensed,
feel
right?
God in this Chili's tonight. God, I hope not, because if it is, then we'll just get
In
ripped
the
off. Yeah.
darkest hour, when I'm feeling down. So now I find true joy in a special place. In the Chili's, I'm lifted up off the ground. In this heavenly presence, I feel His embrace. I feel God in this Chili's tonight.
Amen, brother.
Call us out, Braxton.
Clear eyes.
Full hearts.
Can't lose.
Triple the spirit.
The key change there is
Tonight.
incredible.
Yeah, sure is. Voice is gone. It's no good.